2-all face punch. Oh, it's week 1 time, people. Yes, yes. Yes. Here we go. Week 1. Tomorrow night, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. Who start? If you have Chris Johnson, you can't take him out. You have to start him every week, regardless of the matchup, unless you are so crazy deep at running back that you have another option. But there's a good chance that Chris Johnson's your number 1, possibly your number 2. And if he's your number 2, you are in really good shape. Either way, you have to start him this game. Should you expect a lot? Probably not. Just hope that he punches one in. Right? Don't expect 150 yards and 2 scores. Look for more like 70 yards, hopefully a touchdown, and maybe 4 or 5 catches. You know what I mean? Hopefully. It's not going to be a big offensive game, so don't get too excited. Don't start anybody else on Tennessee. Rob Baronis. Mike says, is Jason Campbell worth a fantasy roster spot anywhere? Absolutely. Listen, absolutely. Jason Campbell's going to improve. I mean, he really is. And it's going to have to be this year. I mean, it's going to have to be this year. And he's finally in the same system. I've said this before. He's finally in the same system for 2 consecutive seasons. Right? This is the first time in his professional career that everything around him hasn't changed from one season to the next. Mike says Chris Henry or Cole's number 2. Oh, I still go Cole's. Listen, I like Chris Henry a lot to be a big player, but Lavernius Coles is the number 2 in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? I mean, he is the number 2 guy, and he is going to catch a lot of balls. Chris Henry will catch a lot of deep balls. I really think Cincinnati's going to come out with a spread quite a bit, and they're going to have at least 3 receivers on the field most of the time. However, I think Coles is going to step into that T.J. Houshmandzadeh spot. And I mean, he's not going to catch 100 balls, but I wouldn't be surprised if he caught 75 or 80. No joke. Still Coles, number 2, but Chris Henry's definitely closing the gap. Mike says James Davis starting by week 6. Yeah, maybe even before. James Davis from Cleveland will take over that starting job this season. It will happen. If you can draft him, draft him. Sunday, Miami at Atlanta. This is kind of tasty. I like this. Obviously, you start Michael Turner always and forever. Roddy White, great start. Matt Ryan, good start. Miami's defense solid. Same with Atlanta, but this will be a fun game. I mean, it's kicking off, people. I didn't even know. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm ecstatic. I just got a PlayStation 3. Just got Madden. I mean, I am footballed out. On the Miami side of the ball, I'd start Ronnie Brown, but that's it. I mean, that's it. Miami just doesn't have a lot of guys that light up the scoreboard. I'd start Ronnie Brown, that's it. Kansas City at Baltimore. Yikes. Listen, this could be a big Joe Flacco game, and he may get the start on my team. Mike wants to know if Devon Bess is a worthy wide receiver. Well, worthy of a late pick on your team, but I wouldn't plug him in this week. I mean, I wouldn't. You got to be able to do better than Devon Bess this week. You just have to. Maybe after a few weeks go by and some people get injured and, you have 1 or 2 receivers on a bye week, then maybe plug in Devon Bess. But even if he is number 1 in Miami, I don't know if he is or not. Even if he is, he's not going to be a guy you want to plug in on a regular basis. Kansas City at Baltimore. Like I said, I like Flacco. I like Ray Rice. I like Derek Mason. Do I need to close the broadcaster over there for, okay. See what I can do. Make sure I got the right one here. Oop, nope. Okay. I'm out of the BRN. Out of the BRN room altogether. Try it now, Miss Lisa. Larry Johnson turnaround? No. No. I mean, I'm assuming you mean turnaround like going back to his old days of dominating, and no, that will not happen. I mean, he might be better than last season. He's still not going to be the Larry Johnson that we remember. Cleveland at Chicago. Obviously, Matt Forte. And this would be a good time to go ahead and take Jay Cutler for a test drive. Right? I mean, Cleveland's got a terrible defense, usually. Mike says, what about Jamal Charles, Kansas City? Well, you don't want to start him, but he's probably a good guy to have. He will take over Larry Johnson's spot at some point in the near future. He'll be a good guy to have, for sure, but not to plug in this week. On the Cleveland side of the ball, you know, you might have Braylon Edwards drafted in a position to where you have to play him. In that case, go ahead and plug him in. Other than that, I'd stay away from Cleveland on the road to Chicago. That doesn't look like a good matchup for them. Detroit at Buffalo. Oh, man. Is T.O. going to play? I mean, how's his toe? I think T.O. is going to play. If that's the case... Oh, that's not right. Hold on. I was like, wait a minute. That's not who they play. Yeah, Philadelphia at Carolina. I was looking to week 5 for some reason. Philadelphia at Carolina. Should be some good defense in that game, but also there'll be some big plays that you know, get broken. I like McNabb every week. I like Deshaun Jackson. I would stay away from Jeremy Maclin just to start things off. It's his first game as a pro. Stay away from Jeremy Maclin. Like Brent Selleck. I like Brian Westbrook for now. You know, I mean, he will go down at some time this year. I can promise you that. He always does. But for now, plug him in. On Carolina's side, D'Angelo Williams should have a big game. Okay, yeah, stay away from Kevin Curtis. Yeah, no, don't start Kevin Curtis. Not against Carolina. But, yeah, on the Carolina side of the ball, I like D'Angelo Williams. I think Jonathan Stewart is still dinged up from what I understand. And Steve Smith is a must-start every week. No Jake Delhomme, no Dwayne Jarrett, no Musa Muhammad. Just Steve Smith and D'Angelo Williams. Moving on. Denver at Cincinnati. Well, this could be a fun one. Now, Brandon Marshall should be back and playing. And in that case, you have to plug him in. Start Brandon Marshall. Start Eddie Royal. No Sean Marino, still dinged up. So I would not start him. Also, even if he is playing, I would hold him out. Right? Even if he's playing, I'm guessing he's not going to be playing at 100%. And with all of the running backs they have in Denver, he's not going to carry a full workload. So if you have no Sean Marino, probably hold him out this week. On the Cincinnati side of the ball, I like Carson Palmer. I like Cedric Benson. I like Ocho Cinco. I like Lavernius Coles. And if you start a lot of guys, I might even like Chris Henry as your flex. Well, I hate Denver's defense. I mean, that might be a high-scoring game. That might be a good game to just plug some guys in and get some points. Minnesota at Cleveland. Obviously, Adrian Peterson. You know, you can take Brett Favre you can try Brett Favre this game if you want. I would not. You know, if it's me, I drafted well enough to not have to worry about starting Brett Favre ever. But some people I know actually have Brett Favre as their starter. And at Cleveland wouldn't be a bad place to try him out, I suppose. Mike wants to know Percy Harvin, the tight end, Visante Shanko. A good fantasy tight end? Yeah, Shanko's a good fantasy tight end. Percy Harvin, you know, he's a rookie. And he's not just a rookie, he's a gimmick rookie. You know, he's a fast guy, he's a wildcat, he's one of those guys. So to me, I want to wait and see what he does and what he brings to the table in a few contests before I just go plugging him in my fantasy lineup. So I don't start Percy Harvin. I start Adrian Peterson, and if you gambled on Brett Favre, yeah, no, I was reading it wrong. Remember, I said Cleveland at Chicago. I know. I was reading week 5 for some reason. I jumped way. I was reading the 5th week of preseason. That's what I was doing. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. My bad. Not Cleveland at Chicago. It's Minnesota at Cleveland. Anyhow, my bad. I was reading it wrong.